Good morning. Hey, we're going to talk today about some tips for surviving life with a new baby. I specialize in taking care of pregnant women and moms with postpartum after baby arrives. And it's one of my favorite things about my job is I get to be with women and help them through that incredible time in their lives. One of the greatest joys in my practice is watching women become mothers because it's such a huge transition in life. And it's so gratifying when I can help to ease that transition a little bit and prepare them for what's ahead and help make it just a little bit easier. I don't think we talk enough in this country about how very difficult the postpartum period can be, because it can be really, really hard. And I think the more we talk about what to expect and support women through that period, the easier it can be. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my story when I became a mom. My first child, my daughter was born by C-section and planned, of course. And so I came home on Percocet, which is a pretty heavy-duty drug. I'm pretty sensitive to stuff like that. And so I was pretty crazy when I came home. I mean, I had the hormone thing going on, and the Percocet just, I'm pretty sure was maybe making me a little paranoid. And it was those few first days of my daughter's life were some of the most stressful I've ever had in my life. Really, really, really difficult. And so I just have that memory as when I'm helping women through this time, and I especially try to prepare my pregnant patients for what might happen postpartum and just how difficult that can be. One of the other things that I tell women all the time is that everything is worse when you're sleep deprived. No matter what is going on in your life, if you are sleep deprived, it's going to feel worse and it's going to be more difficult. And so I try to remind them to have that perspective when you're dealing with life with a newborn, because everything's going to be harder when you're not sleeping. It is very normal to be sleep deprived when you're mothering a newborn. That's life, that's biology. Your newborn, for survival, is designed to wake you up frequently, and you probably have never experienced that level of sleep deprivation in your life. And so I remember just being amazed by how little sleep I could actually function on. And so be aware of that. Some of the things that I think can help in the postpartum period are, sound pretty basic, but most women don't do them. Our society, I've talked about this before, expects women to just bounce back and just be right back to normal after giving birth. And that's not reality at all. We need to respect that time in a woman's life and support her as much as possible. I talk to my patients about accepting help. One of the cool things about when you accept help from someone, when you say, yes, that would be great if you brought me a meal, or sure, you can bring me some groceries, or yes, you could clean my kitchen. That makes them feel good. That gives the person who's helping you a wonderful happiness boost, and it really makes them feel good. So remember that when you're accepting help, and accept all help offered during the postpartum period. Let people help you. One of the things my mother told me a long time ago was to just stay in your pajamas while you're on your maternity leave, while you're postpartum, and not get dressed, because that makes you kind of remember that you're supposed to be in bed actually, and you're not supposed to be doing things. When my son was born, I had an amazing home birth VBAC experience with him, but it was difficult for me to walk for 2 weeks. That was the reality of his birth situation. And so, when I see women even in my office within a week of birth, I'm just like, you're amazing, you're out of the house, way to go, you got some clothes on today. And so everybody has a different birth experience, and that's okay, but please respect that time. Baby needs you. Baby needs your physical presence. There is a whole lot of brain development going on in those first few weeks. The more skin-to-skin time baby gets, the better they're going to do and the better you're going to do. There's this amazing hormonal thing that happens in the postpartum period, and that is facilitated by skin-to-skin contact. And so have that baby on your chest, your bare chest, as much as possible. Let everything else go. This is the time in your life to reduce your expectations of yourself, to let it all go. Your house should be a mess. Your laundry should not be caught up on, for heaven's sakes. And you should not be doing anything else. You got to let it all go. So many women, I'm kind of a type A person, and I kind of expected to just kind of, sail through and keep doing things and getting things done. And the postpartum period was pretty big eye opener for me, and a big lesson on slowing down. And my motherhood journey has been a consistent lesson on patience, which is wonderful. So my other little thing I wanted to talk about too is this advice does not only apply to women who physically give birth. I have loved being able to support many adoptive moms in my practice as well, and I give them a lot of the exact same advice, that sleep deprivation is very real for them too. Some things are harder as an adoptive mom, some things are easier. That baby still needs, and maybe even more so, needs your skin-to-skin contact and needs you to slow down and just mother that baby in the beginning. And so the same stuff applies to adoptive moms. I need to talk a little bit about postpartum depression as well. It's very real, it's very common, and I don't want anybody to ever be ashamed to ask for help or to admit that you're struggling. I talk to women about postpartum depression all the time and send them to places that they need for help. So please don't be afraid to reach out to me or anybody else for help, because postpartum depression is really, really common. And there's help, and you don't have to suffer, and it's not just you. So I hope those little tips help some women through their postpartum period. Again, remember, everything's worse when you're sleep deprived, and not even just for postpartum, and for life in general. So keep perspective on life. So have a great day. Way to go, moms.